When we think of economic miracles, Ethiopia rarely tops the list. Yet, in just a few years, this Horn of Africa nation has nearly tripled its export earnings, from under $3 billion to almost $10 billion. This isn't a lucky break or a one-off spike. It's a dramatic transformation, signaling a new era for one of Africa's most populous countries. For decades, Ethiopia's economy was rooted in agriculture, coffee, flowers, and a handful of other crops. But relying on these left the country vulnerable to weather and global price swings. Determined to break free, Ethiopia's leaders set out to diversify and modernize. The result? A surge in export revenue that's turning heads worldwide. This leap is about more than numbers. It's a story of ambition, strategy, and a nation rewriting its destiny. To understand this boom, we need to see where Ethiopia started, an economy tied to the land, searching for new engines of growth. The journey from $3 to $10 billion is a testament to bold choices and a willingness to look beyond tradition. Ethiopia's rapid ascent is no accident. It's the product of deliberate policy, investment, and a bit of global luck. As we explore the forces behind this surge, we'll uncover both the opportunities and the risks that come with such rapid change. Let's dive into the remarkable story of Ethiopia's economic transformation. For generations, Ethiopia's economy revolved around coffee, its most famous export and a source of national pride. Alongside coffee, flowers and a handful of other crops dominated trade, but export earnings remained modest. Millions depended on farming, but this left the country exposed to droughts and price swings. Manufacturing existed, but on a small scale. Textiles and leather mostly, struggling to compete globally. The government dreamed of industrialization, building parks to attract investment, but progress was slow. Political instability and logistical challenges kept Ethiopia's exports stuck below $3 billion for years. This narrow focus made the economy fragile. A bad harvest or a dip in coffee prices could spell disaster. Planners knew real progress meant breaking free from this cycle and building a more resilient, diversified economy. Ethiopia had untapped resources and a young population, but unlocking that potential was a daunting challenge. For years, the country's export profile barely changed, and the dream of transformation seemed distant. But that was about to change. In the early 2020s, Ethiopia's export story took a sharp turn. Export revenues surged past $4 billion, then $5 billion, then $7 billion, far faster than anyone expected. The catalyst? Gold. Ethiopia formalized its gold sector, buying directly from small-scale miners and channeling the metal into official exports. This move brought a flood of previously untracked gold into the economy, instantly boosting export figures. At the same time, global gold prices soared, multiplying the impact. The timing was perfect. Domestic reforms met a favorable world market. Gold became the engine of Ethiopia's export boom, rewriting the country's economic narrative almost overnight. The world took notice as Ethiopia's export earnings approached $10 billion. This was no gradual climb, but a leap into a new economic league. The question now, could this momentum last? Gold is now the backbone of Ethiopia's export surge. By buying gold directly from miners, the government captured wealth that once slipped through informal channels. Thousands of small-scale miners became key contributors to the national economy. The state provided equipment and support, boosting both production and safety. As global prices hit record highs, each shipment brought in more revenue than ever before. At times, gold has made up nearly half of all export earnings. This windfall funded roads, dams, and industrial parks, fueling broader development. Gold's success gave Ethiopia the financial muscle to pursue its industrial dreams. But relying on one resource brings its own risks. Ethiopia knows it can't depend on gold forever. The government has doubled down on manufacturing, reopening factories, and expanding industrial parks. Zones like Hawassa Industrial Park now attract both foreign and local investors. The aim: move up the value chain, producing finished goods for export. Manufacturing exports are growing, and Made in Ethiopia is gaining recognition. Reopened factories have restored jobs and production, especially in regions recovering from conflict. This isn't just about exports, it's about creating stable jobs for Ethiopia's young workforce. Gold revenues help fund the infrastructure and training needed for industrial growth. The synergy between mining and manufacturing is reshaping the economy. Ethiopia is building a more diverse and resilient future. Ethiopia's boom is impressive, but it comes with real dangers. Heavy reliance on gold leaves the economy exposed to global price swings. If gold prices fall, export revenues could collapse just as quickly. Agriculture, still the main employer, hasn't seen the same growth, leaving millions vulnerable. True sustainability means balanced growth across sectors, not just a gold rush. Industrial parks focus on exports, but domestic needs must not be ignored. Building a strong local market is as vital as conquering international ones. Leaders face a delicate balancing act, leveraging today's windfall to build tomorrow's resilience. The challenge: turn a short-term surge into lasting transformation. The choices made now will shape Ethiopia's future for decades. Ethiopia's economic leap could redefine its role in Africa and beyond. With $10 billion in exports, the country can invest in infrastructure and wield greater regional influence. But is this a lasting transformation or a temporary surge? Success depends on managing risks, diversifying the economy, and investing in people. Ethiopia's story is still unfolding, a real-time experiment in nation-building. If it succeeds, it could inspire a new model for African development. The journey from 3 to 10 billion is just the start. The real test: can Ethiopia make this growth sustainable and inclusive? The world is watching as Ethiopia writes its next chapter. The story is far from over.